Thanks for tuning into MTV. I'm your host, Emily Canales.
And I'm here.
You're watching Sunday Scaries.
Is the man of the hour, the man of the year, the man of the century.
Hello!
Hi.
Okay, so our background today is the trap house that was featured in the last video. Currently risking our lives for content.
No,
Yes.
the ghost of Mark is here.
I don't know if he's dead, dude, or not. But oh my gosh! Introduce yourself.
What up, guys? My name is Memphis, as some of you guys might know.
He's my boyfriend,
Yeah.
and we've been together for almost 4 years.
Yeah.
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 So
3 months and 7. I mean, 3 years and 7 months
3
to be
years and
exact.
7 months. Yep. So basically, the kind of, I guess, the central theme of this video, of this Sunday Scaries, is: are we really soulmates?
No.
Okay, so I guess we can just end it there. Yeah, are we really soulmates? We've been together for 3 years and 7 months. We met in high school, so we're high school sweethearts, and we're both currently in college. Memphis, what are you studying?
I'm studying mechanics, but I don't know if I want to pursue that. I'm thinking about just transferring to Cal State LA to do forensics.
Yep, that's what he's doing. Also, plug your stuff. I'll plug it for you. It's okay. Hey guys, editing Emily here. Go check out his stuff in the description below. Bye. So let's get into the real reason why we're here today. Okay, so like I mentioned not too long ago, we're high school sweethearts. Should we talk about how we met?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. How did it happen?
So, first interaction we had with each other was at a at a line to get food for a school event.
Mm-hmm.
And then at first she was...
Oh, wait, sorry. For context, Memphis had his freshman year of high school during COVID, and then I had my sophomore year of high school, or I spent my sophomore year of high school during COVID. And they had this like fair or like carnival festival thing at our high school to try to get everybody to interact with each other, because this was the first school year back from being online. Go ahead and break it. Why don't you? No, stop that. Right? It was a festival and we were in line.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Stop putting it in your face.
I wasn't. Okay, and then
My phone's at like 12%.
and then yeah, we were in line trying to get food, and then her friends had the bright idea of like, oh, let's flirt with some fresh or like sophomores, so we could cut in line. So because
everybody and their mom was cutting,
Yeah.
and I had been at the same spot.
I cut.
I had been in the
genuinely
same
did cut.
spot in line for over an hour, and I was like, okay, well,
I just wanna be part of your symphony.
I was like, okay, well, I'm not like making any movement, no motion. And then my friend was like, let's flirt with some underclassmen so that we can get ahead in line. And I was like, all right. And then I pointed out some random person. I was like, that one, because he just so happened to be like a 6-foot ginger.
My best friend. His name is Oval. Let's pop up a picture of him right here. So you guys can get an idea of how this man looked like.
Yeah, like he was like a beacon. So
He had. I want you guys to imagine the Mad
I'm gonna
Hatter.
put the photo.
Huh?
I'm gonna put the photo so they're gonna know what he looks like.
Well, we're gonna pop it up already.
Yeah.
Anyways, just think of the Mad Hatter, but just 6 foot tall, bright orange hair, pale as fuck, as beep. I don't know if we could cuss, but yeah.
So, we just walked up to them, and then I saw Oval, and I said, I like your hair. That's all I could really think of. And then I saw Memphis, and I was like, because at the time, Memphis was rocking some neon red trenzas, like 2, and the bottom half of his head was shaved, and he was wearing a neon green Spray Grounds backpack. And I was like, I like your hair too. And at the time, I looked a little cooler than I do now. And I had a split hair dye where the top was my natural hair color and the bottom was pink. And he said, I like your hair too. Little that I know though, he had an infected toe at that time because you had played soccer.
Oh yeah. Okay, so mind you guys, our school was in an office building, so we didn't
Yeah,
actually have a freaking
campus.
campus or a field where we could play at. It
It
was
was
just
an
the little like
it was like a patio.
a little balcony slash patio
Yeah,
thing, and it was like a block, not kind of like half a block long. Uh, and yeah, all the kids would just play there. And I was playing soccer. I was one of the soccer kids, and then we were playing, and then there was like this big metal rod or pole at like the edge of the balcony thing patio bajiki,
hmm
and then I was gonna kick the soccer ball, and then I slipped, and then that's where I think, because honestly I don't remember how I actually hit it. I just remember
like you hit it
running.
on something.
Yeah, I just remember running, seeing the pole, and then just blacking out.
You blacked out.
I didn't black out, but like
Oh.
when it just happened so fast that I didn't like get to process what was going on, and then
Mm.
yeah,
So Pobrecito, I was talking to him and he was like trying to hold down cries.
because it genuinely hurt. I thought I broke my freaking toe, and then I was
Didn't you
like,
lose the nail? Did you lose the nail?
the nail got pushed back, so like it went. So
Mm-hmm.
I went to the nurse because I couldn't take it anymore. After that, we were on our way to class, and I was telling Oval, bro, I can't do this, man. So I went to the office to the nurse's office to see if like my toe was broken and if I could go home.
That's crazy. You showed her your toes?
Yeah.
I've never seen your toes.
Anyways, my sock was soaked up in blood.
That's disgusting.
It was still dripping blood. There was blood dripping on the floor.
He's not good at this, guys.
That's
I'm an
because
influencer though, so I'm good at it.
I'm an influencer too. Well,
You are
yeah,
an
kind of.
influencer.
But
Plug it.
Torta daughter or Edgar's son? Torta daughter, Edgar's son. Man, an Edgar's son, because that motherfucker's gonna pull up with all the tortas, you feel me? You know what? You know why? Look. You know why I wouldn't want a torta daughter? Because if she comes in with a guy like me, like I know she is a rap, bro. Like, what did he say? He's gonna be fucking breaking back like it's nothing, you feel me?
hey, sir. Okay, so yeah, my toe was just bleeding all over the floor.
But he still had Riz because I was still attracted to him. And then yeah, that was basically our only interaction that day. And then after like I had made myself known to him or he had made himself known to me, I just started seeing him everywhere. Like, okay, so I was constantly late to school. Memphis was also constantly late to school, but he had a good reason. He commuted to school on the bus and on foot. I was just late every morning because like
She had to do her makeup.
I had to do my makeup. I would see him around because I was always like pulling up late. So like driving up to school, I would see him and he had his headphones, like the string headphones, and he would have them on top of his ear, the two little braids, and then the neon backpack. And I was like, I remember vividly telling my mom, we're pulling up. And then I look outside the window and I was like, Mom, I like that one. And yeah, it just kind of went on like that for like 2 weeks, I think,
Yeah.
where I just kept seeing him around. And like I said, since we had just come back from quarantine, we had to do like temperature checks every time we went in.
Oh
And
yeah.
we had these like standing temperature sensors, like thermometers.
Yeah.
And you'd have to like, if you showed up late, there was constantly a line. Like you would get stuck in line waiting to get your temperature checked. And there was like 2 temperature checking stands. And I remember one time I had seen him in line. He was a few people ahead of me. And one of my friends, his name's Kyle, one of my friends at the time, he was like, you should go talk to him. You should go talk to him since you think he's cute. And I went to high school with my cousin too. And she's like, I don't see the appeal, blah, blah, blah. And then I was always really scared and I had never done it. And then I think that happened like on a Monday or a Tuesday.
I think it was a Monday.
It was a Monday then. And then I just knew like I liked him. I was interested in him. I think I want to ask him for like his number, his Instagram or something, but I just have to make sure he didn't have a girlfriend or anything. So one of my friends at the time, she was the like student body president and she knew everybody, like literally everybody in school. So I asked her, I said, do you know this kid? Like he has red hair, blah, blah, blah. I described him and she was like, oh yeah, actually I do know him. And I said, does he have a girlfriend? And she's like, oh, well, I don't know, but here's his Instagram. And then I stalked.
How does she have my Instagram?
I don't know. She just had it. Yeah, how did she have it, huh?
Huh? Insert the sound. Huh?
Well, how did she
Huh?
have it?
I don't know.
Whatever. Well, anyway, so she had the Instagram and she gave it to
Damn,
me.
she was keeping an eye on me too.
She had the Instagram and she gave it to me, and then I checked on it, right? And then I was like, oh, he is super, like, vibes are super different. Like, vibes are on completely opposite sides of the spectrum. I showed everybody else in my friend group, and one girl I remember vividly was like, don't even try for him. I went to middle school with her, and she actually turned out to be a fake ass bitch. But anyways, she was just like, don't even try for him. He doesn't, like, he looks like bad news. He looks like complete bad news. And yeah, I didn't listen to everybody. Like, everybody was telling me, like,
One thing about her is she never listens to anybody.
yeah, like, if somebody tells me not to do something, then
She
I'm going
is
to
going
do
to
it.
do it. No
Like,
matter
that
what
just
it
gives
is.
me more of a reason to do it. So that Friday, on Fridays we would get out like earlier. I think we got out like at 1. And on Fridays everybody would go to the same place. Like where he said he was playing soccer, everybody would just walk out there. So when I got let out, I had bumped, like, he just so happened, him and Oval just so happened to walk right in front of me and my friend, who had also told me to like talk to him in line. And my friend was like, oh, he's right there, he's right there. And I was like, no, 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 no. And he was like, Emily, no, you have to talk to him. And I was like, no, no. And then because we had just come back from quarantine, like, I think I'm a very outgoing person, but like my anxiety was through the roof just even thinking about having to talk to him. Or like we're walking down the stairs and my friend keeps trying to shove me into Memphis so that I would have to like be forced to talk to him. And I kept like, he almost pushed me down the stairs. We ended up going to the patio. I'm talking to my friends in one corner. I see him talking to his friends in the other corner. And then I'm like, okay, it's go time. So I strut over to where he's at and I tug on his sweater. And he turns around and I said, hi, do you have a girlfriend? And Memphis's sassy ass goes, no. My time to shine. In my head, I was like, yes, because I had seen him around with chicks, right? I had.
Don't hate me, hit the game.
So he said no, and I said, oh, okay, give me your phone. I was like, can I have your Instagram?
Hell no.
And then he said yeah, and then he put his Instagram into my phone, and then I had to realize, because the thing is, I had been practicing what I wanted to say. I had been rehearsing it, so I knew that I wanted to compliment him. At least, like, I wanted to get my point across that I thought he was cute, right? So I forgot to say that. I hadn't said that yet. So I said, while he's pretend to put in your, I said, you know, I've been seeing you around, and I think you're cute and stuff, so that's why I wanted to ask you for your Instagram. And he just stopped typing, right? He was typing, he went, for like a good 3 seconds, and I thought he froze, like he was updating or something. And then he continued and he gave me back my phone, and then I walked away. I was like, mission accomplished. But I didn't know his name because I had already seen his Instagram before, so I wasn't gonna be like, oh, let me go through his Instagram. I had already seen that before. I just didn't know his name because he didn't have his name on the Instagram, so I had to walk back.
Cool kids don't have their name on their Instagram.
Okay, anyways, so I walked back and I tugged on his sweater again and I said, I'm sorry, what's your name? And he goes,
Memphis.
bitch, I thought that was the fucking wind. I said, Memphis? Is that a nickname? And he was like, no, that's my real name. I was like, oh. My geeky ass said, who isn't, like, I guess I wasn't allowed at the house at the time. I didn't know how to interact with humans, so I stuck out my hand and I shook his hand and I said, nice to meet you, my name is Emily.
I mean, that's fair. That's a good
Negative 10,000 aura, bruh.
You're chill about it.
I was.
Yeah, you're chill about it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. And then after that, I felt like I had done all the work. Like, I was done for the rest of my life, like, putting myself out there. Never doing that ever again. I went home happy that day. I didn't even text him. I didn't even think about texting him. I was just
She
like,
wasn't going to text
I
him.
wasn't going to text him because I had already done all the work. It's like, either he's going to text me or not. And then what happened?
And then the same day, right?
It was the same day, like
same-
2 hours later.
Okay, so that day I was going to go to Quince practice. And I was at the bus stop. And I was peeping her Instagram on the way to the bus stop. And then I was like, fuck it, I'll text her. And I was like, hey,
That's all he said, bro.
with a smiley face.
No, you didn't. You just said hey.
Oh, that was a later text.
And then I texted hey with the smiley face. And then you said,
And then I was like, how you doing?
they said, how you doing? I said, good, how about you? And then you said,
And then I pulled the cleanest fucking slam dunk ever, and I was like, I'm good now.
yeah, that was pretty smooth. Okay.
I said, slam dunk.
Yeah. And then we've been talking ever since.
Yeah. And at the time, she was doing her jewelry. I don't know if she's ever mentioned it on video, but she did jewelry, or still does, but she just hasn't been posting. And then there was this one necklace I really liked. It was called Graveyard Shift.
You remember that?
It was like a rosary type of necklace,
Mhm.
but made out of beads, like red beads. And then it had like a spider
Like pendant?
pendant thing that would connect two strands and then the single strand. And I thought that was really cool. And I was gonna buy it off her, but she ended up giving it to me for free.
Yeah, and then when I gifted it to him, because my entire shop theme was like super pink, girly fairy core, I wrapped it up for him and everything, put him in a little like. Am I sweating? Dude, I'm literally sweating so much.
It's cold.
I know. Stress sweat, I guess.
Nervous.
I am nervous. Anyways, I wrapped it up and it was super girly, and then I gave it to him in front of his friends, and that was when we hugged for the first time.
No, that was
Yes. I remember
no.
giving it to you.
Well, yeah, you did, but we went to get boba.
No, we didn't. That's not when
Yeah,
I
we
gave it
did.
to you. No, I gave it to you in front of your friends. I remember. And then you gave me a side hug.
No, we went to go get boba.
No.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
You gave it to me.
No, I
And
didn't.
we went to go get boba,
That was a different
then we were
time.
sitting down, and then you were like, "Oh, I have a gift
No,
for you."
we didn't do that. I remember I had to leave really fast, so I didn't give it to you. I think I gave it to you, gave me a side hug, and then we went to go get boba. I remember giving it to you at the school patio though,
No, I
because Oval
remember.
was there.
I remember you leaving.
Wrong bitch. So, do you want to talk about how we, even before started dating, we broke up?
Oh. Long story short. Long story short. She wasn't allowed to date back then, and
Still not really? I don't
there you
know.
are.
I think my dad just tolerates it now. I mean, y'all are chill though. But back in the day, girl, so we were sneaking around like the first half of our relation, not even for like the first 6 months, we were sneaking around because I knew that we couldn't be together. So once things started becoming more serious, I had to tell Memphis that we couldn't really. I felt awful because I knew I had initiated everything between us. I had to tell him that we couldn't take things any further, as in, like, we couldn't become boyfriend and girlfriend. And so we went to our first date spot, and I had to tell him, I said, I'm sorry, I can't be with you. Like, I can't be your girlfriend. I like you so much, and I would love to be your girlfriend. I would love to see what's in store for us and like in the future and exploring that. But I know for a fact that I can't do that right now. And I'm like, it's not because I don't like you. It's just because like I can't. Because of my parents, I can't.
And I was like, "Lokes, bruh." Yeah, I was like, "Bro, no way."
Yeah, it's pretty stupid because that day we had our first kiss.
Yeah, we did. After that whole thing went down, she gave me a little peck, and then.
Yeah, because he was acting so dramatic, like I was like moving across the world.
Cause, bro, I thought I found like the right person with me, and then she tells me, "Oh, we can't be together," and it's like, man.
He was really sad, and I said we can still be friends, we can still see each other, and he went, and he gave me a hug, and I was like, Brit. And then he went, and then he got mad because he had been wanting to, like, at that time I think we had been talking for like 2 months. Yeah, 2 months. And then we kept talking, like, after that whole situation, we just kept talking, like, we could. That night we went home, and then I think we were still texting, and I was still trying to better explain myself because I was so nervous. I was so nervous having to tell him, and then I just told him even more like how I felt, and then we kind of just realized that we couldn't stay away from each other. And yeah, we talked for another month. We became like really close friends. We became best friends. And then I made Memphis ask me to be his girlfriend because after that conversation that we had, he didn't think that it was okay to ask me to be his girlfriend. But at that point, we were still going on dates. We were still like kissing. So I was just like, ain't no way I'm gonna be a side chick. Ain't no way I'm gonna be a little sneaky link. He has to ask me to be his girlfriend. And I kept dropping the hints, but he wasn't doing anything. Like there was no forward motion being made. So I made him ask me to be his girlfriend.
And I was already planning to do
Yeah,
it anyway.
whatever.
Like I was gonna actually like not professionally. I was properly gonna ask her out, but she was like, "When are you gonna ask me out?" And
I'm
she's like,
very
"Ask me out right now.
impatient.
Ask me out right now."
Yeah, whoops. And then I hit a relationship for 6 months. And then I finally had to tell my parents. I sat them down one day. I was like, yep, I have a boyfriend. My dad was very mad at me. He didn't talk to me for 2 weeks.
Oh.
And yeah, it was like really bad. It was really, really bad. Because it was just like everything that I was trying to avoid happened. But what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Ya pasó. But I understood it because Memphis and I met when we were 15 and 16. I was 15, he was 16. I was still really little. Like we were still really little to be in like a full-blown
Loki, yeah.
relationship. Because
He was only 2 years younger when we started dating, or when you, like,
your little sister Hazel,
yeah, like right
for
now.
context,
Right now, she's 2 years younger than
then we were. Yeah.
you were.
Oh, then I was, yeah. Because now we're 19 and 20. We were really little to be going through all that. So I understand why my dad was so upset. I understand why he was upset that I didn't wait longer. I get it. And now I get it at least.
Mm.
Which kind of sucks because like we've gone through a lot in our relationship. That's like not something that I feel comfortable sharing everything about, but there
Yeah.
were multiple like breaking points, I guess you could say, but we never broke up except for that one time. Which wasn't too long ago, actually. It was last November.
Oh.
So it was about 6 or 7 months ago. So
That
yeah.
was in October.
Yeah. So 7 or 8 months ago.
8 months ago.
8 months ago. Yeah, it was just like, do you want to talk about that? Are you okay with talking about a little bit about it?
Sure.
It That's I guess kind of the issue. And I guess like the advice that I can give in this situation. I'm not saying that Memphis and I weren't the best of friends or anything. Honestly, we were best friends before we started romantically dating, like officially romantically dating. And as like the years went on, of course, we got to know each other even better. And sometimes I feel like Memphis knows me better than I know myself. But our relationship was based on a lot of hurt and immaturity, and I think that that kind of followed us into our older years, I guess you could
Yeah.
say. And we never really got over a lot of the got over or kind of fixed the stuff that like the bad things that happened in our relationship in the past.
It was more so fixing because, like, even though I was mentally mature, I wasn't emotionally mature.
Mm. And that kind of just led to us to break up for about like a month and a half,
Yeah.
or less than a month. And but to us it was serious because you see, going into the relationship, I had been very explicit about how I don't believe in breaks, because if you're just going to take a break, then you're just going to break up eventually. Like it's just like a little hold until you want to officially break up. So I had always been extremely against taking breaks, but I was at my breaking point, so we broke up. I think it was really tough. It was really, really tough time for both of us. A lot of mean things were said on my point, and I've apologized for those things. A lot of growth was done on both sides, and I feel like we didn't. I personally didn't really go into the breakup thinking that it was a break. I genuinely thought that it was us breaking up, and I think
No.
Memphis kind of
And
thought the same.
that means she lied to me because she was like, "I just want to take a break."
Well, I didn't really see like us getting. I didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel in the sense. Like I didn't see how we could get any better. Do you know what I mean? Like I was not thinking positively at all. I didn't lie to you. It was
You
just
did.
oh shit.
I'm not crying, but I yawned.
I didn't lie to you. Well, I didn't really see like how we could come from that. And I think that us kind of being apart from each other really helped, in the sense that I think you learned to appreciate me more, and I learned that I generally couldn't live without you. And then, yeah. This time around, Memphis asked me to be his girlfriend again, but out of his own plan, out of his own will. I didn't have to force him or anything.
Finally.
Yeah. Oh! And we got back together on our 3-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Most people wouldn't consider it because we like
But we,
technically we broke up,
but we
so we
were
would have
still
started back.
talking like every day,
Yeah.
but not as much though. We were very like we're still pretty distant, and I think we were just working on
No, you
ourselves.
were. It's okay. You were the one that wanted to break up. So it's understandable why you wouldn't be as like engaging
I was
in the
really mad at you
conversations.
though.
No,
Like
yeah,
that entire situation, I was just very I was very hurt and I was very angry. And I didn't really want anything to do with you until I realized I wanted everything to do with you.
Aw.
I mean, but that was 8 months ago. Um,
How do you feel now?
really good. I feel really good. I mean, like we just went right back into the groove of things. What happened?
I had like trash in my mouth.
Oh,
I think like a leaf, like a small leaf blew into my
how did
mouth.
that happen?
I don't know, man.
Anyway, we went
Why
right
does
back
anything
to.
in life happen?
So we went right back to normal. I think we just like fell right back into the groove of things, and um, we're much more mature. I feel like now, like I know it's just like, oh, you guys were only broken up for like a month.
A month can do a lot.
A month can do a lot, and we just continue growing as grow as you go. I think that's really important,
Yeah.
and I think giving each other grace is also very important. I think during that time that we were apart, I came to the realization that we started dating when we were very young. And, you know, when you're 15 and when you're 16, you're 14, you're
You have
17.
a whole different mindset.
Exactly. Even
So
months or years can make the biggest change. And not only that, but it's just like we were learning to even, like, we're still learning to be our own persons, let alone to be
in a
a
relationship.
relationship and be able to get to know somebody and be able to like care for somebody properly and healthily healthy.
Healthily?
I don't know,
In a
but
healthy
in a
way.
healthy way. Yeah, in a healthy way. And I think yeah, we've come very far from that.
Yeah.
We're not perfect. I mean, like
Hell nah. We're far from perfect.
very
But
far from perfect.
what makes up for it is that we both try and we try hard for the other person.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's generally all that matters is as long as you try to be better.
And keep up a
Also for
very
yourself.
yeah. Not only that, but keeping up a very like growth mindset. You
Yeah.
know, because it's just like mistakes are bound to happen. You're bound to hurt each other's feelings, but as long as you kind of just give each other grace and know that like this is our first time going through life and
Yeah.
we're bound to make mistakes as we go, but as long as like you know that the other person is doing everything in their power to be a better person, yeah, for like you're saying not only for yourself but for the other person in the relationship, that's the most important thing.
Yeah. And plus, like this is our first relationship. Like, yeah, you might have like
No, no, Memphis has had other girlfriends
let
before
me
me.
speak. Let me finish speaking. Like, yeah, I had like little like kid crushes and kid relationships, but this is our my first like ever
Whatever.
true love and actual like serious relationship.
Hmm. Well, Memphis is my first everything. He's my first boyfriend. He's my first hand holding person. He's my first kiss. He's my first date. He's my first love.
She's my first love too.
Nah, whatever.
Well, I'm be for real. Like I was telling Hazel last time. Like, yeah, you could say love. Like you love someone like a little boyfriend, whatever, in middle school, elementary school, but like you truly don't know the meaning of what it means
Mm.
at that point until you like mature and you're like, okay, now this is what it actually means. It means sacrifice. It means giving. Yeah, it's just sacrificing a lot of stuff. In the name of love.
That's it? Just sacrificing?
No, I kind of like my brain fog.
Yeah, just sacrificing. I was like, oh.
Yeah. My brain fog.
You're making it seem like I'm holding you captive. No, no, no.
But yeah, it's so many things that go into the word or into the meaning of love.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
And we still have so much like space to grow.
Yeah, we do.
And we still have so much time to be with each other and learn more about each other. I mean, like, I still find out new things about Memphis even to this day, and we've been together for almost 4 years.
Yeah.
So,
What's the recent thing you found out about me?
I don't know.
Lies.
Well, no, but like, I
All
can't.
she says are lies
No.
and deceptions.
I recently found out Memphis doesn't like pickles.
Really?
Yeah, I think that was pretty recent.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I'm sorry. Do you still learn things about me?
I stopped like 2 years ago.
So you know everything about me.
Yeah, pretty much.
I feel like I know pretty much everything about you too, but I learn random things. Like random lore.
No, I think I genuinely know everything about you.
So you think
Lore,
I'm boring?
experiences.
Yeah, because I don't shut up.
interests.
Like I do not shut up.
Yeah, she's a really talkative person.
I'm
And I don't mean it in a
sorry.
bad way. Don't worry. Don't say sorry. I don't mean it in a bad way. I'm a little more like quiet.
And reserved, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to get it out of him.
Or just one day I was da 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 da.
Yeah.
I think that's how you find out most of the things. Just like this day some.
Yeah, it'll just be like random lore drops.
Yeah.
That's why I'm still finding out stuff because you'll just randomly like I'll randomly unlock something. But yeah.
Yeah.
So how was it dating in high school?
It was
Because sorry, we were together for 2 years in high school. So we started dating. I'm so sorry. Memphis was a sophomore and I was a junior when we met. But he's older than me.
yeah.
Want to talk about that?
How about that? I repeated 6th grade.
Because he liked it so much.
Yeah, sure.
Ow.
Nah, it was the principal. Like, he didn't like me because I was just like.
No, I thought she didn't like you because she was the mom of your first girlfriend.
Hmm?
Right?
No. What? Wrong bitch.
That's what you told me.
No.
You told me that.
No.
Yes, you did. Okay,
we-
but wasn't her mom one of the principals?
No, her mom was like. She would help out at school.
You
She was
told
staff.
me you told me she was the principal.
No, I
Yes,
never
you
told you that.
did. You're the one who lies.
What? No, I said the reason why I repeated 6th grade was because the principal didn't like me because I was always like getting in trouble and stuff. So he just never liked me. And then one time
You didn't tell me that.
and then
When
one
you told
time-
me this story, you said that you wanted attention from your parents because Hazel was just born.
that could be a part of it too. But no, yeah, the reason why it was also because I was just like
There's inconsistencies in your story, man.
no, but the reason why was because the principal didn't like
I'm
me.
hungry again.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
Yeah, I
The
got
principal didn't like you.
yeah, the principal didn't like me, so I repeated. But my first girlfriend, her mom was staff.
Mm-hmm.
Her mom was part of the staff. She was never. Ah. My elementary was from 1st grade to 4th grade, and then from there I went to a different middle school
Mm-hmm.
called Stella Meadow Charter Academy School. Fuck that school.
Oh, my mama fucked that school.
I never got to go on the field trips
Why?
because I never had good grades.
I'm
I was always
sorry.
skipping school.
Pues quién te manda?
I don't like school.
Yeah, he
From a
hates
very young
school.
age, I never liked school.
He hated school.
Yeah, I would ditch whenever I can.
And
One
it
time-
was so funny because we were polar opposites. He hated school. I was valedictorian in middle school. I was top 10 in high school. I'm on a full ride at university because of my grades.
yeah,
And Memphis hates school.
I truly hate school.
That's why we get along so well.
Opposites attract each other or whatever.
Yeah, no, we're polar opposites.
But yeah, I went there because they had a soccer field. Like genuinely, that's the only reason why I went.
To that school?
Yeah, because the field
Pretty
trips were,
valid.
the field trips were cool, and they had a small soccer field.
Pretty typical Beaner activities.
Okay, you know what? But anyway, I got to be in the soccer team. That's the thing I don't get. I went to the soccer games, yet I didn't have good grades. I don't
You're
know.
probably good at what you did.
I could have gone pro, but I broke my ACL. I tore my
Oh,
ACL.
whatever. I could have gone pro, but I got hurt. He says the same thing about being a junior lifeguard. No, swimming team, swimming
Yeah,
team.
yeah. No, actually, that was actually true. I went to a pool on Jefferson,
Stop
and
saying the stream.
who cares?
I
No one's gonna know where you
care.
live on Jefferson, and
Bleep, 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 bleep,
they recently tore it down. Sad RP. But yeah, I used to take swimming lessons there, and I was a really good swimmer. And if I had taken one more swimming class, I would have been able to apply to do like a national, not national, but like a semi-pro swimming team. But we moved from the area, and I just never went back.
So back to the topic of the episode. Back to the topic of the episode of are we really soulmates?
Mm,
And you were talking about how like elementary school, whatever. I think it's cute and fun to note that there's a park really close by to my house.
yeah,
And when Memphis moved away, he moved farther from that park. But where he was living previously, he would go to the park to play soccer with his dad.
yeah.
And I would go to that same park when I was little. We were the same age, and I would go play basketball with my dad at that park. So it's nice and cute to think that we possibly
Ran into each other
at
once
some
or
point.
twice. Yeah, because I would go there whenever I would be free. Like at that time, my parents wouldn't let me walk by myself, so whenever I had someone to go with me, we would go. I would go.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's crazy because it was like 2 blocks away from my house, and it's pretty close to your house. But yeah, it's really cute and cool to think about that. Like we could have ran into each other, or we did, and we just don't know.
Yeah. Do you think we're soulmates?
Yeah,
Yeah. Why do you think so?
the way we just connected, like when we first met. Like I don't know, we talked about it, but like when, or at least on my end, when we first met, I felt like a big, strong sense of connection with her, and that's why I was like, huh, okay, let me explore this a little bit
You
more.
just burped into the microphone.
I didn't. Let me explore this a little bit more, and that's when I mean that like it was my first actual relationship because I've never felt that way before about anyone else besides you.
Are we gonna kiss right now?
What about you?
I honestly, I don't want to say like I don't know, and then you think I hate you or anything.
She hurts
But
me.
I don't think you can ever really be sure about everything in this life. But I do feel very sure about being with Memphis, and whether that is romantically or whether that's just him being in my life. Can you pay attention to me, please?
Sorry, I'm asking something from my mom. Okay. Uh huh.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think, yeah, you can really be sure about anything, but I'm sure that whether romantically or just platonically, like, I want Memphis in my life, and I think that that's sure enough. And we kind of just continue on as we are now
Mm-hmm.
and see what the future holds for us, for us in our relationship.
Yeah.
But I do feel very strongly connected to Memphis, and I don't know if I'm not, I guess, very spiritual in that way, but I have had dreams where I guess like prophetic dreams in a sense where I can like I'll see something in my dream right before I wake up
She's a witch.
and it'll happen. And that's happened a few times before.
No, she's a psychic.
Low key.
No, she actually is a psychic. She's actually psycho. Wow, I'm just abbreviating psychic.
But yeah, I did dream our first date months before I even met Memphis.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And I feel like that's even more of a confirmation for our relationship and us being together. I don't know for how long we will be together for, but I
She's gonna
think
break up with me
just
again.
no,
God,
just enjoying it while we're together and just soaking up every second of it and just using it as an opportunity to learn more about myself and learn more about my capacities as a person
I don't know why, but I thought you were gonna say cupcake. I'm hungry.
I'm trying to be so sweet right now and
I'm
so
sorry.
earnest.
Ernest?
Fat ass. You don't know what earnest means?
No.
God.
You're a valedictorian.
In middle school.
I go to Trade Tech because
Trade Tech is lit.
it's okay.
I was supposed to go there.
Topic for a different story.
Yeah.
Story for a different topic.
But yeah. This was a very unserious video. I was trying to be serious about it. I just can't be serious with you because you're fucking hungry and tired. That sounded like gunshots.
Nah, bro, you live in the suburbs. Calm down.
I do not live in the hello.
I don't know. All I know is that I love her and I don't want to ever split from her. But if that's what needs to happen, then I guess I'll just have to suck it up and just live with it and just enjoy the times that we had together.
I think we should do like a more in-depth video talking about more of our high school
Advice
experiences
or
or advice or something when my phone isn't at less than 10%.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm so sorry
Like a
about
part
that.
two.
Yeah, we can do a part 2 totally. We'll see how this one goes. Yeah, love you.
I love you too, baby.